Welcome.
Welcome, everybody.
Another happy Thursday night here at the studio.
At the WDWNT studios here, coming to you live from Celebration, Florida.
We used to do this in my office at home. It's kind of a pain in the butt, if I'm honest.
We're moving up in the world. We have a full-blown studio to bring you this amazing show.
Literally an official Epcot Festival table.
It is. It is an official Epcot Festival table. We feel like that is, there's nothing, well, I don't know. The only argument I have about it is that Epcot Festival tables are almost as functional before 5 as they are after 5.
That's true. Thanks for joining us. My name is Eric Morton.
My name is Jill Diffendahl. Welcome.
And we are your hosts this evening. WDW After 5. Yes, WDWAF. That's us.
That's us. That's definitely us.
That's who we are, right? So we profile different bars, lounges, all that kind of stuff once a week. We did kind of a double shot here, and there's a little debate because a lot of people will say Geyser Point is one of their favorite bars or lounges at Disney World. At some point during this episode, I think I kind of said like it doesn't really count because I think air conditioning has to be one of the ingredients for it to be a lounge.
I think that's fair, and I also feel like it doesn't feel very loungy. Like it almost feels like a restaurant, and like an open air restaurant, because there were like the entire, except for the actual bar, like the bar stools around the bar, all of the tables around the bar were full of families eating dinner. Like, people were coming there to eat dinner. They weren't coming there to have a drink and relax. It was like a full-blown dinner experience.
We will get to that, but I wanted to explain the rationale about combining these two, because I think that Territory Lounge is more of a true lounge, where Geyser Point is kind of a walk-up pool bar. It's kind of a sit at a bar. It's kind of a restaurant. It's kind of...
Well, and I think here's maybe a way that we draw distinctions. Geyser Point has like full-blown food menu, burgers and sandwiches and entrees. Territory Lounge only has sort of snacks.
Shareable bites.
Shareable bites, exactly. And maybe that's a distinction we want to make, because other bars that we've been to, like Abracadabar, Dahlia, Nomad, all don't really have a full menu. They just have sort of snacks to eat.
Oh, I could eat every meal of every day at Dahlia, though.
I could eat a lot of things at Nomad, too, but...
Yeah. Anyway, we went to the Wilderness Lodge. If you haven't been there, it's a spectacular place.
It's one of the most beautiful hotels on property.
And we were looking for our favorite server, one of our favorite servers, Susan. Yeah. She was not available. We found another server who we really liked, though. It was an incredible surprise. So come along with us for a journey, first to the Territory Lounge at the Wilderness Lodge.
Let's explore that new territory. Or old territory. I don't know. It's been around for a while, right?
This week, Jill hates a drink almost as much as I do. We try drinks that smoke, and a rocket takes off. All this and more on this episode of WDW After 5.
It's almost 5 o'clock. It's time for another episode of WDWAF. And sure enough, today we are at the Wilderness Lodge. Yes. One of the most beautiful resorts on Disney property, and one of the best places to drive your car down the stairs. Wilderness Lodge. We're going to check out Territory Lounge and head on over to Geyser Point there at the end.
The Territory Lounge is a cozy and rustic bar located off the lobby of the Wilderness Lodge, a Disney resort and spa at Walt Disney World. The lounge is inspired by the Pacific Northwest with a warm and inviting atmosphere that features dark woods, stone walls, and a giant fireplace. The lounge serves a variety of specialty cocktails, beers, and wines, as well as light bites and snacks. In addition to its delicious drinks and food, the Territory Lounge is known for its relaxed and laid-back vibe. It's a great spot to unwind after a day at the parks or to meet up with friends and family for a drink or two. And with its prime location in the Wilderness Lodge, you can take in beautiful scenery and rustic charm, all while you relax and enjoy your drinks. Welcome to Territory Lounge here at Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Jill, clearly one of the favorites, right?
This place is fantastic. The vibe is great. The atmosphere, when you walk into Wilderness Lodge, you get this great, amazing national park sort of vibe. The 5-story lobby is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It feels so authentic, and then you walk into territory and you've got this cozy environment. Jake is right now filming this sitting in like an easy chair. It's fantastic.
It's wonderful.
You have nothing but the best servers here. Some of our favorite servers in all of Walt Disney World. Great menu, great drinks, great vibe. And it feels a little off the beaten path. It's not as hustle and bustle as some of the other resort lounges.
Joining us also tonight is Lee. Hello, Lee.
Hello.
Lee's not talkative.
I'm not quite as chatty as most of the guests we have on the show.
The vibe of this place I get is I can picture Teddy Roosevelt and John Muir standing on the rock overlooking National
Bully
Park
beautiful.
saying it's bully beautiful.
Fully beautiful.
Indeed.
The menu here, again, like Nomad had a lot of great signature cocktails. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 featured cocktails.
That are exclusive to here.
Yep. And a little bit more, there's a lot of whiskey and like rye in here, some scotch.
More than half of the cocktails are bourbon, rye, or scotch focused, which is unusual for a Disney cocktail menu.
All right, so Jill, I know what you're getting. You're going to get the s'more old fashioned.
I'm getting the s'mores old fashioned. I love old fashions and I love s'mores, and this is a drink that puts them both together, and I can't wait to have it.
That has Elijah Craig. That's the 12-year Elijah Craig. Mm-hmm. Slightly.
They don't mess around with that. It's a nice Elijah Craig.
Toasted marshmallow, chocolate bitters.
How can you go wrong?
Pretty much like dessert in a glass. All right, so pretty great cocktail menu here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 featured cocktails. Not as many as some of the places we've been. Pretty good. And a lot of whiskey, bourbon, rye on here, Jill. So right in your wheelhouse.
Right in our wheel. Like, we love bourbon drinks. We love whiskey drinks.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Definitely more bourbon-focused drinks and whiskey-focused drinks than I think any other lounge on property in terms of at least percentage of the menu that is bourbon and whiskey-focused, which is really nice.
Like we said, when we went to Abracadabra, they claim to have the largest bourbon collection on property, but all their drinks aren't as bourbon-focused. These are a little bit more. So I know what you're going to get, Jill. The s'mores old fashioned, right? I'm
so excited. I love s'mores. I love old fashions. I get to have both of those things in a drink, which is perfect.
It's diabetes in a glass. You have Elijah Craig 12-year, which is a good version of Elijah Craig. Toasted marshmallow.
It's the fancy Elijah Craig. It's some toasted marshmallow.
Chocolate bitters.
It's chocolate bitters.
They're both the low price of $17.
The cocktails here are on the pricey side, I will say that.
I always step outside of my comfort zone a little bit for my first drink on this show. I'm not a Scotch person. This has the Timeless Elias, has Macallan 12-year. Courvoisier, I don't like. Well, I don't really know if I like cognac or not. I've only had really good expensive cognac when I had no choice, and it was pretty good.
Oh, please.
Cheap cognac I've had maybe on accident a couple times.
Here, Eric, have some Louis. Tell me no.
That did happen once, and I drank 2 of them. Not bad for $400 or whatever.
Whatever it is. Some obscene amount of money.
Yeah, that's not. Courvoisier is not exactly this.
No, but
regular
Courvoisier
VSOP.
is still.
Yeah. And the ladies' man, his favorite.
I just got to
by
say,
the way.
I can't think of Courvoisier.
Would you like some Courvoisier? And house-made vanilla syrup. So there we go. 2 whiskey-ish drinks. One with Scotch whiskey, one with bourbon.
Looking forward to it.
Lily is going to.
I have to pick?
Yeah, you have to pick.
I think Jill thought that I should go with the Orchard's Bounty to start.
That is what
Kettle One Botanical and Orange Blossom Vodka, because I'm a vodka girl. Dolan Blanc Vermouth, Aperol Liqueur, and house-made Pinot Gris syrup.
It sounds delicious.
Quick note, because they also have a pretty good menu here in terms of snacks and shareables. I recommend getting here kind of early or kind of late, because if you hit this, we're pretty early, right? We're right around 5 o'clock. If you get here closer to like
dinner time,
this place would be full of kids in their pajamas running around screaming.
Because
they're waiting
Artist
for the
Point
restaurant
is right next door, and then also Whisper and Canyon is just a stone's throw in the lobby. So you've got two restaurants that people are bringing kids to, and then they're coming in here with their kids before or after
It can
dinner.
get loud here.
Yeah.
But like this time of day and then later at night, both a really good time.
There's
to
a
get.
lot of wood, and wood tends to echo. So in terms of acoustics, you don't always get great sound dampening, and so it gets a little loud.
There's a Territory popcorn sampler. The popcorn's on there: spicy caramel, sea salt, truffle, and barbecue. $12 for popcorn.
I've spent way less for
Did you bring
way
your
better
bucket? Maybe
popcorn.
they'll fill it for $2.
Oh man, I should have brought my Japan bucket, and then I would have been like, "You have to fill this. How can you not fill this bucket?"
The artisanal cheese and charcuterie. I will tell you, this thing is massive. It is $22, but it's massive, and it looks like a village of people hanging deer hide. I mean, it's just meat hanging everywhere. It's like they walk through the basement of the family in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
This is a family show, so I'm not going to make comments like I'm thinking about making right now.
Loaded baked potato flatbread, bacon, potato, cream cheese, and dill. Salmon run, that salmon flatbread, smoked salmon, whatever Gravlax is, they got that.
It's isn't Gravlax another kind of smoked salmon?
This says salmon flatbread, smoked salmon, and salmon Gravlax. Might be a preparation.
It may be a preparation of smoked salmon.
Bacon on the wire. That's candied bacon, deviled eggs, bourbon drizzle.
They're pretty well known for the bacon on a wire,
and
yeah.
bourbon. Who would ever want those two things? Bone and brie. Roasted bone marrow, honey baked brie, Marion Berry onion jam. Not Marion Berry, the former mayor of Washington, D.C. Apparently there's
There is a berry
brand of jam called Marion.
No, it's
their
a Marion berry
onion
is a type of berry.
Oh, even better. See, I learn something every time.
It's non-branded.
And there's
branded by
spicy
nature.
macaroni and cheese. I don't even know exactly how to picture this. They got rid of one of my favorite things here, which was the fondue.
R.I.P. the fondue.
The fondue here was amazing, right, Lee?
It was my favorite. They give you the little crock of the best Swiss cheese fondue with some Gruyere in it. Came with apples and grapes and little breadsticks. Oh, so good.
So we will decide on a few of those. After we're going to order our drinks. We'll come back, and then maybe the drinks will come out before the food.
We'll see what happens.
All right, still smoking a little bit. The Timeless Elias with the Cavassier and the Macallan 12.
I have my s'mores old
Ooh,
fashioned.
it just smells like a fireworks stand, really.
Like a crackling
There's a lot of-
fire.
Yeah, it smells like a pack of black cats. Remember those?
Mine smells like
A lot of smoke.
s'mores, actually. S'mores and bourbon, which is exactly what I want it to smell like.
Lee's like,
I
mine
was
smells like vodka
I was
and
like, I didn't even
citrus.
smell mine yet, but I'm gonna say it probably smells like orange and vodka. You never know.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it smells like orange and vodka.
Well, drink away. And give your thoughts close to the microphone.
Okay, so that's the opposite end of the
Go ahead and drink.
So it's gonna say right across the street from the Riviera. Like you'll see
Oh,
it,
it's
take the
good.
Skyliner, you'll see the Speedway.
I mean, not that I would think any of it's bad, but
Probably take the Skyliner
it's
to Riviera.
summery. It's very light. You can taste a little bit of the peach. It's not very peachy. It's definitely more of a light orange, but it's not got a strong vodka taste to it. It's more just like an orange fruit juice.
Okay.
It's good.
The Riviera is the hotel that's
I want to hear how
This is gonna
that
be
Timeless
stout. This is gonna be
Elias
stout.
is.
in Caribbean Beach. We have Riviera.
Smoky.
So, but if you look up Speedway, it's really
Look at the legs
wow.
on it.
I really
You
like it.
You can see like the Courvoisier, the cognac, because it's thicker, is giving it legs on the glass.
It's warming my body from the inside. Like, but it blends
It's
well
like a
together.
campfire.
Yes, it really is. This is pretty robust. It's not something I would drink like several of, but like to have one here.
Right? It's like when you get like a
know
really,
we want
like when you
one.
go to an expensive restaurant and they use really rich ingredients and they only give you like a tiny little bite of it because it's so rich that you only want a little bit.
yeah, like literally like your turn mine. Let me see if I can find out for you. I don't know. Yeah, I'll ask.
Oh, wow. It's interesting, right? Because you get the smoke. Like you get the smoke first. You smell the smoke first because the glass was full of it. And then you taste it and it's very sweet. The Courvoisier makes it very sweet. And so like it's almost like the smoke and the sweet are two separate things. Like the smoke pulls the smokiness out of the whiskey and puts it in your nose, and then you just taste the sweetness of the Courvoisier.
Sometimes Scotch has a certain like Listerine quality, almost like old school. Remember old school Listerine when they only had one flavor and it wasn't blue, right? And it would kind of
It's that yellow, that like brownish yellow.
It would, like kind of numb your tongue up front and like numb your mouth. It's a lot of Scotch does that for me. This not like that. This is.
Well, it's also got vanilla syrup in it, like a little bit of vanilla simple syrup. So I think you get that sweetness too that cuts a lot of that like medicinalness of the Scotch.
Absolutely recommend. I mean, it's expensive. What was it, $17, $18? But
it's only $1 more than mine.
But the presentation was cool. Now Lee really wants me to try hers.
I don't know if it'll taste good after that, but we'll see.
Ooh, it smells extremely.
It's very summery.
I guess I'm just smelling the orange peel. I think my nose is just right over top of the orange peel.
It's very summery. It's like.
Is there like a citrus smellitzer like happening around the glass?
No,
it's good. It almost tastes like something you could drink in a glass with ice.
Yeah,
instead of like in a martini glass.
It looks like a martini. It looks like a
but it doesn't
a Cosmo.
Have that heavy alcohol taste.
Oh, but it smells very orange.
You're getting a lot of that orange peel on top. It doesn't taste that orange, I don't think.
No. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's very light.
I don't really like Aperol. I don't like the bitterness of Aperol, but it's barely there. And I taste a lot of peach, actually. I get like a lot of orange and peach. I like that.
If you watch this show often, I say almost every time that I'm having a first drink, it's like, oh, here's the thing I don't like. Here's the thing I don't like. I don't like Aperol either, but I think it's nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice. I would drink that.
It's good for the non-bourbon drinkers.
All right, so I'm going to try my s'mores old fashioned.
I'm so excited to taste her s'mores old fashioned. Even Lee might drink that.
Oh my goodness. It's really nice because you taste the marshmallow, you taste a little bit of chocolate, but then you get the Elijah Craig definitely has a bite to it, like a spicy bite to it. So you get that. It's interesting because I wonder what this would be like if they made it with like a wheated, smoother bourbon, but they're making it with a pretty spicy bourbon that is
and an old bourbon.
And an old bourbon, and it's a weird sort of.
There's like a chunk of charred marshmallow.
Yeah, there's chunks of charred marshmallow. I honestly disagree with the bourbon that they use to make that drink. I think a sweeter, smoother bourbon would work better with the marshmallow and the chocolate.
I agree because
it's too
I took
spicy.
a little bit too big of a swig there, and the spiciness is overpowering that.
Yeah.
The chocolate bitters and even I can't even really taste the marshmallow at this point.
I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it, but I think a smoother, wheatier bourbon would have been a better choice for that.
Weller Special Reserve would have been perfect with this. I still think it's really good.
It's still really good, but Lee is not a bourbon fan, so.
I'll try it. I'll take one for the team. I could drink it.
I could drink it.
That's something coming from
That's
you.
a winning cup of winning.
I mean, Lead also doesn't drink beer, but she went to a beer spa where you laid in a tub of beer and had a tap.
Yeah, I haven't even gotten to tell you about that.
No,
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes.
You went while I was in Japan?
Her and Jersey Lee, yeah. So.
Yeah, it was her. She planned it. It was magical.
All right, so we're on track so far. Jill,
we've got some drinks. We're going to order some snacks in a minute, so we'll be back and with some snacks.
All right, so food is here.
We have snacks.
The gigantic slaughterhouse charcuterie I promised you is here. There is all kinds of stuff on here. I lost track as soon as she started.
I know this is capicola, salami, bruschel, and prosciutto. This is blue cheese. These are cheeses she told me about twice and I still forget, but this one has honey and sea salt. This is a burrata with truffle oil. And then you've got some grapes and some jardiniere and honey and cornichons.
Let's just call all this the gabagool. No?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Popcorn.
And then we have the popcorn sampler. This is $12 on the menu, which I feel like the presentation alone feels like you're getting your money's worth.
I would say this. Plus, who doesn't chew on a little rosemary when they're
literally
eating
you
popcorn
could
at the
take
movie
this.
theater?
You could take this rosemary home with you and like realize back $3 worth of value
Make
that
a
you
good
pay
steak.
for it at Publix.
This is a lot of types of popcorn. I don't know that's a lot of popcorn. Like,
No.
you probably wouldn't fill one of your Japanese popcorn buckets with it. This is the spicy, and I'm told it is, in fact, spicy.
Very spicy.
I'm going to give this a shot.
This is truffle. We've got caramel, regular sort of butter, and barbecue. How is the spicy? I'm going to try the caramel.
So believe it or not, it's pretty spicy.
It's
Yeah.
spicy. It really is.
Oh, the caramel is really good.
All right, I'm going in.
That feels like real caramel. That's borderline caramel
The
couche.
spicy is really...
Oh,
That's
spicy.
borderline caramel couche, caramel popcorn.
Yeah, that's like
This is
crunchy.
good.
It's got legit caramel on it.
This
It's
is
not just
truffle?
flavored. And then I think this is plain.
I think it's like cheddar or something.
Is
It
it?
didn't say plain on the menu. This is definitely truffle, though.
Ooh, the truffle.
It's very truffly.
Sea salt. That is.
Salt. Okay.
So I would call that plain.
Okay.
How's the barbecue?
I'm going in for the cheese.
And if forced to make a quick judgment,
Oh, the barbecue's nice.
my ranking is caramel 1, barbecue 2, truffle 3, spicy 4, sea salt.
My ranking, none of them are as good as Jeff's popcorn from Tokyo Disney. That's not true. The caramel's fantastic. The barbecue's really good. These are actually all really good popcorn.
What do you call it? What's the Japanese version of like being a cinephile, like a Japaneseophile? Not, like you are obsessed with Japanese stuff now. Is that a thing?
Otaku. Well, that's sort of otaku is. It's really more about anime. It's someone who's obsessed with anime. I think there might be a
Nothing to
word.
do with cartoons.
I think there might be a
This
word
is
for that.
popcorn.
She's a Harajuku girl.
A Harajuku girl. We're going to call you a Harajuku girl.
Sure. I'm so not that.
I don't even know
but
what that
okay.
means, but I know Gwen Stefani's into that. Good call, Lee.
That's right.
High five.
Me and my Gwen.
All right.
All right, we're gonna dig into some of these snacks, and then we'll come back and tell you how some of this stuff is.
Oh, wow. That
Taking all of the celebrities up to their penthouse.
And now
but-
I'm like, you gotta pick something. He's 7. He's got time to change.
yeah. There are a lot of other good careers that involve pushing buttons.
Yeah, sorry. So we're doing the National 95, the Northwoods.
The Northwood, so that is Bullet Rye whiskey, house-made rosemary syrup, maybe just made out of the rosemary that was just on our
on our
popcorn
tray.
board.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know how you make the rosemary syrup.
We make it, the culinary makes it in the back, so we don't make it here at the bar.
Okay, citrus juices and maple.
I'm excited for it.
I drew the short straw. None of us like gin.
I don't like gin.
I'm gonna have the LNC G&T.
But she says it's good.
It's really good.
Forged
So it's
gin,
good.
Saint Germain elderflower liqueur, elderflower, a lot of elderflower. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled
of elderberries.
I don't know about elderflower. And Lee is going to get the orange spice sangria. That's a Chateau Saint Michel Cabernet, which they were out of last time we were here, allegedly property wide, right? Was it Pinot Grigio? I thought it was Cabernet. Okay. Cointreau,
she's trying to step away.
No, you're gonna have
apple cider, house-made spice orange syrup. And then now we're broke. Now we don't have enough money to do anything else.
That's fine.
Go
I can
anywhere
find
else.
things for you guys to do. Easy. No
Tina
problem.
is our server.
Tina is the best.
Her and Susan are the best, some of the best, amazing servers. Susan's here a lot. We love Susan. We're sorry we missed her today, but Tina is fantastic. I've decided that popcorn should always be served like that. Popcorn 5 ways.
I like choices.
We'll do it. Incidentally, Poppy's favorite food is popcorn, so she would be in Puppy
It's her
heaven.
namesake.
She has gotten to the point that, like, if you walk into the pantry and you get a packet of popcorn out, she starts running laps around the living room.
She does
Really?
little flips, yeah.
She knows if you pull a packet of microwave popcorn out, she goes nuts.
Poppy loves popcorn and Cheez-Its.
Yep.
Popcorn and Cheez-Its.
Oh, well,
I mean,
who doesn't love
Who
Cheez-Its?
doesn't love popcorn and Cheez-Its?
I mean, they are two of the best snack foods ever.
It's true. Poppy's got good taste. All right, we'll have.
We'll be back with our drinks
little
in a
break,
minute.
More drinks and some discussion. Our second round has arrived.
We got it
Jill
here.
has the Northwoods.
The Northwoods.
I have the National 95 though. Wait, threw you off earlier because I ordered the gin and tonic thing, and then Jake decided he would drink gin because Jake's the only person
At this table that likes gin.
that likes gin. Also, it's called an L&C G&T, but we're not sure what the L&C stands for.
LNC. What would that even stand for? LNC.
Maybe it's the bartenders that came up with it.
Maybe? Is it some Walt thing? Is it some like Wilderness Lodge
The
thing?
guys who explored
No. Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and
there it
Clark.
is. Lee solved the mystery.
Lee solved
It's
the mystery. It's like we're at trivia.
You know, because Lewis and Clark, when they were crossing the continent, they were drinking gin and tonic.
I mean, juniper berries were probably plentiful.
Is it juniper or elder?
Elderberries.
Gin
Juniper
is-
berry. Well,
gin
gin
is-
comes from
gin is-
elder. Or
no,
from
gin
juniper
comes
berries.
from juniper berries.
So the National 95 though looks like a French 75, right? A little
Sure.
bit. But obviously it's got rye whiskey in it. So
I question the most expensive drink on the menu coming in the smallest glass of any drink we've ordered.
Is that the one she said had the whistle pig in it?
Yes, that has whistle
we
pig.
got the sangria, and let me tell you, this is the darkest sangria I've ever seen. It looks like Pa's Easter egg dye for purple,
It
right?
is very,
It doesn't smell like vinegar.
it is opaque.
And then you got something that looks like it came out of Galaxy's Edge, like one of the snacks at Oga's Cantina, right? Like dried
Served on the
It's dried orange.
orange.
Let's not get carried away with it being outer spacey. It's dried orange.
Orange journey.
So Jake, did you show that Jake is over there already sipping the Lewis and Clark G&T? All right, Jill, sip
Give
away.
it a taste. Oh. So it's definitely citrusy. So the ingredients here are bullet whiskey, rosemary syrup, citrus juices, and maple. I would tell you that the rosemary is strong. It's not overpowering, but it's definitely present. The citrus is present, but the maple and the whiskey I don't taste as strongly. And I don't know if that's like a weak drink
Take a
or if
second
that's...
sip. Yours also looks darker at the bottom, so you might need to
Do I need a
stir
little
it up
stir?
a little bit.
Maybe I stir it with... That is the purpose of
It
this
looks like a
sprig of
tequila
rosemary.
sunrise or something.
There's definitely a lot of citrus on top. I don't get any maple at all from my first sip, but let's stir it up and see what happens. All right, let's try this again. All the bourbon is definitely at the bottom.
We're good.
I'm still not sure there's a ton of maple. Maybe there's a little maple in there, but there's definitely, it's a nice balance. Actually, the rosemary, if you're a little hesitant because you're like, oh, that rosemary might be overpowering, it's really not. It complements very nicely, and it gives this very, you're out in like the piney woods of the Pacific Northwest drinking some bourbon, and it's pretty nice. It feels very appropriate for the space that we're in.
The original name for this they came up with was Rosemary's Baby, and then they decided that was not going to work.
No.
It's okay, that's good. This one, the most expensive drink,
Looks very dainty.
as I think of Monty Python, and that's the most expensive machine in the hospital. Next to the machine that goes bing.
Ah, I see you have the machine that goes bing. This is my favorite.
Very delicate.
So it is like a French 75, just with whiskey instead of gin.
Yeah.
Basically mixed with champagne and.
It's an the sparkling wine is Argyle, which is from Oregon, and as our server mentioned earlier, all of our wines, all of the wines here are sourced from like Oregon and Washington State and generally the Pacific Northwest to align with the theming of the space.
So pardon me for calling it champagne. Obviously, it's from Oregon,
I don't know
not
if
from
you-
the Champagne region of France.
No, because then the Belgian government would destroy cases of it because, as they did recently with Coors, was it Coors calling itself the champagne of beers?
I used to know a Belgian guy who would destroy cases of beer with us too. This is very, I hate this word, effervescent.
I mean,
Nose tickle?
it's full of sparkle.
My nose tickled a little bit. I can't quite place what I'm tasting. Jill, why don't you give that a shot?
Here, I'll trade you mine. I want to see how you feel about my rosemary. Oh. This is not a drink I would ever... When I read the menu that there is rye and what is sparkling wine, and I don't think this works.
Especially as the most expensive drink on the menu.
So rye...
Put some swill rye in there and charge like $12 for it,
but
maybe.
Don't put whistle pig in there. And no, that doesn't work. I'm sorry, that doesn't work.
I don't know how to describe it. It's not something I would get again, right? A French 75 goes down easy, and I don't like gin.
The rye is so spicy.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't work.
I couldn't tell if I was getting the spice from something else.
No,
because there's
it's the
simple syrup
rye.
in here, but I don't know if they had some. Yes, the rye.
It's just the rye. It doesn't work for me. No.
It's a no for me, dog.
It's a no for me, dog, too. I think this may be the best cocktail on the menu. I'm gonna throw that down and say I think the Northwoods is the best on the menu.
Oh wow.
I kind of love it. It's just
I got
this
a little
really
bit too much of this on the nose as I inhaled
Fair,
it though,
yeah.
so it's like.
But I feel
I wanna
like
move this aside.
the bourbon, the citrus, and the rosemary work so good together. And none of them, it's
Wow.
like a really nice balance of everything. Nothing's overpowering, and they all just blend.
I don't think you would like this, Lee.
No, it's
but
terrible.
you might like this.
It's mostly citrus.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's very citrus forward, but
It's not bad.
That's
You
high
say it
praise
louder
from
into
Lee
the
about a
microphone.
bourbon
It's
drink.
not
It's
bad.
not bad.
You got a good one, Joe. I like that. This one, like it's.
I was
kind of
hesitant, but I
has-
think this is the best drink on
I
the
don't know
menu.
if it's the best drink on the menu, but I think it's good.
It kind of had reminiscence of whiskey sour. There's a little
Yeah.
bit of like a whiskey sour vibe
Yeah,
to it.
I can get that. I can get that. All right, the dark and brooding sangria. This, don't spill this. Don't drink so much of it
Don't
that you
drop this
throw
on the
up because
carpet.
you're ruining whatever this comes in contact with.
This is a foreboding drink. This is like what happens if we don't take care of our national parks kind of drink.
It's good. You definitely taste a lot of. Well, you definitely taste. It's the wine. I mean, it definitely. You have the overwhelming. Normally with sangria, you taste some of the fruit right away.
What is our wine in this?
It's a cab.
It's a cab, so it's
Yeah.
going to be heavy.
Yeah.
And then you've got Contral in it, which is
Yeah.
also going to make
So,
it kind of thick and heavy.
The overpowering flavor is still the cab. You do have a little bit of citrus going on in there, but it's not sweet and it's not fruity.
I like cab, but I've never had it with ice.
Try it.
Cab to me is
I mean,
like a room
technically-
temperature, like with a steak type of
You guys
wine.
are
But
the
it's
ones with the
sangria.
skill. You guys are the ones with the skills of how
Oh,
to.
the sophisticated palate, I think, is what you're trying to say, right, Jake? Now I shall try this glorious sangria after we maybe change the battery on the camera.
Another good option for the non-bourbon drinkers.
Sangria, always.
Another delightful summer afternoon beverage.
I like the way you describe it. It tastes more like wine than fruit.
Yeah.
It's a little.
It tastes like chilled wine.
I'm a little confused. It tastes like wine over ice.
All right.
It just tastes like chilled wine with a little. It's not.
Oh, it's very dry. It's the driest sangria I've ever had.
Right, you expect sangria to have a certain
It's not
profile.
fruity,
It
No.
really, like, you barely taste any of the other ingredients. Like it is cold Cabernet, which is not the ideal way to drink Cabernet. But there is supposedly Cointreau, apple cider, and house-made spiced orange syrup in here, and I don't really taste any
just
of
tastes
those
like
things.
It tastes like
Ice
wine.
Cabernet.
It tastes like cold wine.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that.
I
Yeah.
don't hate it.
It's not
I think
terrible,
it's one of those
but
where it's like when I first tasted it, I was
there's
like,
no complexity to it.
No, but I
The
can
in-
definitely see myself sitting on the patio in the summer sipping on this.
The ingredient list makes you feel like there would be more complexity to that drink, and there's
well,
not.
Lee's a big fan of things like sangria and like Tinto Verano, Tinto de Verano, yeah. This is not that. It might look like it's in that league, but it's not. This is a totally different
It's heavier.
thing on its own. It's heavier.
It's definitely heavy.
This is not, to me, refreshing. I think it's good.
Oh, I disagree.
I think it would.
I like it, but I mean that might just be because it's cold.
Yeah, I don't know. Put some Cabernet on ice, drink it, and this is what you'll get. Put an orange slice in there if you feel
All
thirsty.
right, we're
now,
gonna brave Jake's
Jake's
gin
drink.
and tonic. Even though none of us like gin, we're all gonna give
But I
Jake's
like
drink a little sample.
I've never even been, so
I hate everything about that. I hate the gin, I hate the cucumber, I hate the elderflower, I hate everything about that.
Like cucumbers.
If you like elderflower, if you like gin, if you like cucumbers, I'm sure you'll enjoy this, but I don't like any of those
If you
things.
have ever taken down your Christmas tree, a live Christmas tree, at
Or-
the end of the season, and taken
Drank
the
the
water
water.
from it and dumped it into a glass over ice, this is what it tastes.
Or similarly, if you have a fake Christmas tree and you accidentally kind of like the needle smacked you in the mouth and it's kind of got that chemically coated taste,
I hope
that's
I
what
like
that
it. I
that's
hope
what that
I
is.
like
You will. There is a subset of people that will like this. I think you will.
I'm
People that like cucumber water might like it. Yeah, Lily likes it. Look at Lily.
It tastes like a cucumber cooler, but with gin instead of vodka.
It's-
I would choose vodka over gin, but I could drink this.
it's bitter
I
and
think-
gross.
I think the weird thing is that it tastes like cucumber. The cucumber kind of dominates the flavor
Yes,
profile.
It tastes like a cucumber cooler.
That's the one thing in this drink that's not listed on the menu
I
as
actually
being part of this drink.
think the taste that dominates is the elderflower, and you get that
Could be.
bitterness of the elderflower. Because the first thing that hits my tongue is bitter, and not in a good way.
So when we went to Vegas one trip, New Jersey, Lee and I sat by the pool sipping cucumber coolers, and this is exactly what they tasted like. Again, it was vodka instead of gin.
Did the Bellagio charge you what this thing cost?
Probably more than that.
Yeah.
The
No,
Bellagio, yes.
Vegas poolside drinks are not
$16,
cheap.
not bad. That's,
Oh, no,
this is
there-
probably
there's-
cheaper than.
But we
oh, wait,
got
I'm sorry. This is.
We got
yeah,
like
16.
22-ounce tumblers of them.
what is the favorite drink of the night so far? I have to know.
This and the Timeless Elias.
Yeah,
Okay,
those
I'll
are our
take
two
it.
favorites.
We
So
think.
you gave up on the LNCG&T.
Oh, no,
I
they just
I
keep passing
hate
it
Oh, you
around.
keep rotating.
yeah.
Oh,
You don't
it's
like
No,
rotating.
I hate
I
everything
like
We
about
hate
it.
it. They
I
both
don't
really
like
love it.
gin,
I like
I
it
don't like
too.
cucumber, and I don't like
I would tell
elderflower.
you
There's nothing in
There's
this that you
nothing-
like, literally.
yeah.
Yeah, I would do it with vodka instead of gin.
Yes,
But-
we could do that for you if you ever come back. Oh, sure, you'll come back.
Oh.
You have to come back for Big Sue.
Oh.
So.
Nobody
We'll be back
really
for you
likes
too.
this. It's okay.
I love that one.
Really?
But I don't like bourbon, so maybe that's why I like it, because it has
I
nothing.
feel like drink should be greater than the sum of. This is greater than the sum of its parts. This is I would rather have the Whistle Pig and the champagne separately. I think they would taste better separately than
this
they
is
taste
oddly
together.
dry. I like it, but it's dry.
It doesn't
for a
look like
sangria.
that as much.
It's not fruity. It
No,
doesn't
and I
taste-
feel like it's usually like a little bit foggier because of the apple cider.
Yeah,
so I'm
no, this
wondering if
just
there's
tastes
not
like
enough cider. I wonder.
It just tastes
We don't
like
really
apple
taste the
ice.
other things besides the cab in there.
It may be missing a few things. I'll find out.
I would say
It's okay.
this.
Yeah, I mean, I can drink it. Yeah, it's not
Timeless
gross.
The
Elias
Timeless
are the top
Elias was
two.
fantastic.
The Northwoods, it's the maple simple syrup. I think that does it. And the Elias is,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
I don't even like Scotch very. I love bourbon. I don't like Scotch, but the Elias was great. Yeah.
Yes.
Here's what I would say about the small old fashioned. You've got the Elijah Craig 12 year in there, which is really hot. It would actually
It's a
benefit from a
smoother bourbon.
smoother, lower proof, weedier bourbon.
I wonder if we did, like, we have the Disney Select, the non-premium.
Oh, that's
I wonder-
really spicy too,
No,
though.
it's- Yeah, I don't know
I would
anything
say
about
even Woodford Reserve, which you guys
Wood-
have,
yeah.
would be
yeah.
smoother,
Yeah.
or Blanton's, or Weller Special Reserve,
Okay.
a
I mean,
weeded
those
bourbon.
are, yeah. Something weeded that's
That's
a
hard.
smoother,
No, see, I
not
don't know anything about
spicy.
bourbons, so
Yeah.
this gets hilarious.
Oh, we're morons, but we're good at drinking.
No, I like
We
we
drink a lot of
Makes you
bourbon.
professional at
Yeah.
bourbon, so.
And that's us guest splaining to the server
Yes.
all the ways to make drinks that we made up.
Yes, all these drinks that you didn't make, and yes, now we're telling you how to make them.
Oh
I gotta
boy,
say,
a little
though-
redundant too. They spied on us while we were talking to them too.
I know.
Also, Lee invented a new drink, the
LNG.
LNG V&T.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Why not? Vodka tonic. It's not an uncommon drink.
I want to say, though, in the vein of us discussing with Tina, our fantastic server from Territory
Big round of
Lounge.
applause for Tina.
She was
Clap at
incredible.
home in your bed.
I know.
Lee is, if you're still watching, she's probably laying in bed. Lee is
Laughing again.
exhaustively planning her coronation party for 3 a.m. on Saturday.
I'm going to be there.
And she may not be watching, but yeah, Lee did a great job.
She did. It was great to have her. It was so nice that she was on the show in front of the camera instead of behind the camera like she usually is for Boxed In.
And Tina, what a great server. I don't normally like to put a camera in the face of the server. In this case, she was very engaging and didn't miss a beat.
And I got to say, she is characteristic of some of the really excellent servers. Our episode next week, I don't know how much of our actual server interactions you'll see on that episode. We just filmed it last night, in fact, and our server, I'm not gonna spoil it because it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of a surprise. But our server was incredible. He was great. His name was Trevor. Travis. He was like, he overheard some of our conversation and came up and was engaging with us about like working at Disney. He was great. We have found incredible servers in all of these lounges across Walt Disney World.
One thing that makes Disney special is even some of the places that are expensive, they tend to not be so snobby about it. Mm-hmm. So you don't get the same feeling from a lot of these places that you would get at a place that sees themselves as a place that makes $25 cocktails. And there's a little bit more humanity to the people, and I like that.
Yeah.
And that's especially at a place like Territory Lounge.
And they're really, like, they want to make sure you're happy. For what it's worth, I think, so I'm going to like argue that my assessment of they should have put a different bourbon in that s'mores old fashioned is 100% correct.
I'm not saying it's incorrect, Jill.
But I kind of feel like Tina might take that feedback and actually provide it to the bartenders. And wouldn't it be awesome if we went to Territory Lounge a couple of months from now and there was a different bourbon in the s'mores old fashioned? I'm kind of like, I have a lot of hopes and also a lot of ego that might actually happen. We actually, in the course of this show, drank a drink with bourbon in it, a very complicated drink with bourbon, and critiqued the bourbon that we didn't think it was good. Yeah. We weren't nasty about it. And they go, oh yeah, so by the way, you're right. This is a much cheaper bourbon that we used. But we charge you the same price. But he still charge you the same. I believe when he revealed that to us, I actually out loud said, what the H? Like to his face. Like what the H, bro? What the H? You're billing this as a pretty top shelf expensive bourbon, and now you're bait and switching us with a less, in my opinion, less good, but also less expensive bourbon. Sometimes they don't know, right? Sometimes if you're a server and if you're not into bourbon, you may not know that, Jim Beam is not as expensive as, Pappy Van Winkle. You may not know that. There may be a significant price difference in those two bourbon products. But with our sophisticated palates, we were able to identify this deficiency in a drink. Yes. And they immediately copped to it. Yeah. It does happen from time to time because we are so sophisticated. Oui. So if you like this, let us know. Let us know. Also, we're looking for suggestions. We have a lot of places to go. Yeah. Jake will be able to put up some polls later for us to go to, but we know why a lot of you are still here. Before we go over down the hill to Geyser Point, though, and down along the waterfall, we're going to encourage you to like and subscribe. We're looking for more viewership. Yeah. We're not too proud to ask. No, come join our show. I think we are providing a valuable service, which is touring the lounges of Walt Disney World and telling you which ones are great, where the experience is good, where the drinks are good, helping you. So if you're here on a trip for a week. You only have limited time to go out after 5 and enjoy some of the Walt Disney World lounge and nightlife. We're helping direct you in the best places to go. Territory Lounge is certainly one of those places. That's true. And if
if you want to support us, we appreciate the thumbs up or even comments after the fact in the chat. You can use the super chat if you want to. Another really great way to support us, though, is to go to Be Our Guest Vacations, beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT. They're a sponsor of ours, and they do a wonderful job. And it would be a great favor to us if you would give them some of your business. Their services are 100% free, as they say. So,
indeed, I recommend our travel agent sponsor to a lot of my friends. I have a lot of people who are not Florida residents who plan trips down here. They start asking me questions, and when I realize there is a level of complication to the trip they're trying to plan, especially if they've got little kids, if they've got extended family that's coming with them, I'm like, you should call the travel agent because they're going to help you for free, and it's going to make your life so much easier. And it's also selfishly going to make my life so much easier because I don't feel like I need to be your vacation planner.
Quick plug, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, we are having an episode of Boxed In.
We are.
I think we're going to be combining 25th anniversary merchandise, 25th anniversary of Disney's Animal Kingdom, and 25th anniversary of Disney Cruise Line. And we'll celebrate them aging out of Nick's target bracket. And please join us tomorrow for Boxed In, 7 p.m., same channel.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Exactly, that's what they say. All right, well, join us as we walk down the hill to Geyser Point for the next phase of this evening.
Yeah.
Geyser Point is a unique outdoor bar and restaurant located at the Wilderness Lodge. You just have to kind of follow that fake river that we all love so much. This picturesque venue is situated on the shores of Bay Lake, surrounded by tall trees and lush greenery, and offers stunning views of the resort's natural surroundings. The bar area features a large open-air structure with a roof made of cedar beams and slatted wooden panels. They allow the natural light to filter through. The seating options include cozy chairs, bar stools, and wooden benches that provide ample space for guests to relax and take in the stunning views, even out there on the walkway where you do not get service from the bar. The menu at Geyser Point offers a diverse selection of food and drinks, ranging from craft beers and specialty cocktails to salads, sandwiches, and classic American dishes. Geyser Point features a walk-up counter for guests who want to grab a quick bite or beverage to take on the go. Overall, Geyser Point is a must-visit destination for guests staying at Disney's Wilderness Lodge or those visiting the resort like us for the day. It's a beautiful setting, and it has delicious food and drinks and unique features that make it a truly memorable experience.
All right, so we're here at Geyser Point.
Geyser
I
Point.
almost don't consider this like a real Disney bar because it's most of the business is like takeaway drinks for the pool.
Look, I don't consider any pool bar a real bar. And maybe that's a I have a mental block about that, but I feel like pool bars don't count as real bars.
I don't know that this is a pool bar per se.
It kind of is, though.
But it kind of is because you can come here and stand in a long line of people waiting for a takeaway drink, but you can also be seated here. You can also sit at the bar.
Yeah, and order, and there is
in the confines of a swimming pool.
There's a full menu. No, I don't think any Disney pool bar is inside the confines of a swimming pool, is it? Like they're all outside.
Hurricane Hannah's is kind of like, yeah, there's a couple.
But I still think there's a barrier between the pool and the bar. I think there's always a barrier between the pool and the bar.
At any rate, they do have some of we are on the shores of beautiful Bay Lake.
Indeed.
Look at that. That is Discovery Island, a tropical paradise.
Slash like potential place to put a prison?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Potential site of a new state prison. We don't really know. Jill, there are some featured cocktails here that are specific to this place. So let's check them out. You want to break it down for us?
Let's talk about the featured cocktails that are unique to Geyser Point. First, we have the Huckleberry Punch, which is 44-degree North Mountain Huckleberry Vodka, Bowls Creme de Cassis, lemon juice, and cranberry juice. That sounds fruity.
Is that
and
a
refreshing.
branded name, the 44 degrees, or is that the exact temperature that it is served at?
I actually think 44 degrees might be a brand, but 44 degrees sounds like a good temperature at which to serve vodka also.
That's actually, when Lee graduated college, she had 44 degrees.
I thought that was how many Red Disney medals she has.
That's probably
Maybe I got the two confused.
Yeah. Then we have the Rough Rider Sour, which is Rough Rider whiskey, perfectly mixed with sweet and sour. I think that Rough Rider, Teddy Roosevelt,
sour,
it's got that whole like sort of explorer, national parks kind of vibe to it. You've got the Cascadia Sangria Cocktail, which is Tito's handmade vodka, black cherry, lime juice, and orange juice, topped with Columbia Crest H3 Merlot. So Cascadia is in the Pacific Northwest. It's, I think it's sort of
The Cascades.
the Cascade Mountains. And then Columbia Crest is definitely a Pacific Northwest wine. So again, bringing that Pacific Northwest feel into it. The Black Cherry Mule, which is probably the least sort of Northwest sort of national parky themed drink on the menu, that has Tito's, black cherry, lime juice, pure cane sugar topped with Fever Tree ginger beer. So it's basically a mule, a vodka mule with cherry and lime juice in it. Then you've got the Northwest iced tea, which is basically a Long Island iced tea, but with that Northwest kind of spin on it. It's 44 degrees.
Oh, so it has like a scarf.
Yes, yes,
And
it's
an
a Long
IPA
Island iced
topped
tea.
with an IPA.
It's a Long Island iced tea and a flannel shirt.
Yes.
It's got 44-degree North Idaho potato vodka, Bacardi Superior rum, Aviation American gin, Cointreau, sweet and sour, and a splash of Coke. So very much a standard kind of Long Island iced tea recipe. And then the last drink, which I think is adorable, is called Worth Melting For. Aw. It's got 44 North Mountain Huckleberry vodka, pineapple juice, sweet and sour, and agave nectar. So it's a little bit of a sweet and sour vodka drink.
We call that the dead snowman where I'm from.
That's also known as
Harsh.
the dead snowman.
Okay, so I'm going to give Lee the first choice. What would you like off of this menu, Lee? I'm holding a microphone like Bob Barker,
I
but
just
the
got ready to
shortest
say
microphone
Bob
ever.
Barker.
I need a long, skinny microphone.
We'll just tape it to a stick that we find off one of the trees around
I
here.
mean, these have vodka in them, so I have more options. I shall try.
Literally 5 of the 6 drinks on this menu have vodka in it.
I shall try the Northwest flannel wearing iced tea.
I like it.
Long Island for you, huh? All right, Jill, you get to choose whatever you want.
So I'm gonna also pick one of the 5 out of 6 vodka drinks. I really want to try the Worth Melting For. I like pineapple juice. I like sweet and sour. It's got huckleberry vodka, which I think could be interesting, and it sounds really cute. I don't even like frozen, but I want to drink this drink.
I don't know what huckleberry vodka tastes like.
I feel like Rackety Raccoon makes it in his moonshine still. That's what I feel like huckleberry vodka says to me.
All right, I'll do the, what's it called, the whiskey sour?
The Rough Rider
The
Sour.
Rough Rider Sour.
In honor of Teddy Roosevelt.
In honor of a great American, Teddy Roosevelt.
Founder
Head
of the
of the
Rough
Rough
Riders.
Riders.
Puffs his chest up like he's Teddy on back of a horse.
Teddy Roosevelt, the guy who got shot in an assassination attempt and finished his speech anyway.
Kept on going.
I like that. Because, you know, sometimes when you get hammered, you just got to keep going.
That's words to live by.
Words to live by, according
When
to
somebody
Jill.
tries to take you down, you get back up and you keep going.
That's true. Jake, we'll let you get whatever you want. You can tell us later. And then I guess we'll have our patented conversation about some random topic
Are you
once we come back.
Should we talk about the view? Or is that
The
later?
view. We took a lot of B-roll of this view, but every time I point to it, Jake's like, I'm not turning around. Trust me, it's a lovely view.
Let it go.
We're racing the sun. And we have a special surprise. If we hang out here long enough, there is a SpaceX launch.
Fingers crossed.
And this will be
Supposedly,
an amazing view.
in an hour and 10 minutes, we are supposed to get a Falcon Heavy launch. So if that happens, we are going to bring it to you on this show.
Live, late breaking.
There you have it, but you have to watch the show for an hour and a half.
Recorded
Or we can
live,
edit
but
it down.
seen later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me now.
Listen to me now.
Hear me
believe
now and listen to me later.
All right, we're gonna go. We're gonna stand in line for the drinks. We're not gonna do the server. We're not gonna sit at the bar. We're just gonna chill out here because this is the best.
Because
view.
this is the best view of the launch.
All right, so we got our drinks. Over there, Jake got the something that's
Black-
half gone.
Black Cherry Mule.
The Black Cherry Mule.
It is half gone.
Well, we will show you what it actually looked like before Jake rained destruction upon it. All right, this is Worth Melting For.
This is worth. Let's see if it
Dead
actually
Olaf.
is.
It looks kind of like
drink
a
some dead
husky might have
snowman.
peed on Olaf before he melted.
Ooh. It's pineapple-y, it's berry. It seems pretty spot on for what it's supposed to be. I like it.
May I?
It's like a pineapple sour. It's like a pineapple sour.
Wow, I can't drink.
No, you may not, apparently.
It tastes like candy.
It kind of tastes like candy.
It kind of tastes like a Haribo
pineapple gummy bear.
pineapple gummy bear.
It kind of tastes like a Haribo pineapple gummy bear.
I like it.
I think that's right.
I don't like pineapple, but
I think that sounds right.
it tastes like pineapple juice.
I don't know
Very
what
good.
Olaf
That's very
has to
good.
do with pineapple, but I don't hate this.
Quick note, this is on the digital menu, not on the paper menu.
Yeah. But when I went up and asked for it, the bartender knew what I was talking about and was readily able to make it for me. So.
All right, I'm gonna try the Rough Rider. Made famous by DMX. Ooh, this is a big departure from yours. Yours is very sweet and delightful and light. And
Yours is none of those.
This is none of those. Wow.
And yet it can't be that bad because he's
What kind of
drinking it
bourbon's in
again.
there?
Rough Rider bourbon.
Rough
That's why
Rider
it's
bourbon?
called Rough Rider because it's Rough
Oh, I
Rider
thought
bourbon.
it was Rough Rider because of Teddy Roosevelt. Turns out
It's
it's just
probably a
Rough
little
Rider
bit of
bourbon.
both.
Rough your chest up that time, though.
Teddy Roosevelt. Now, John, this is good, but yours is so easy drinking. This is like a shock to my system, kind of.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Ooh.
Lee, bourbon. Lee, huge bourbon lover.
So I don't know the answer to this for sure, but my assumption is that Rough Rider bourbon is pretty cheap bourbon based on how
Now
that
I
tastes.
don't want to try it.
You have to. It's for science or
This
posterity.
bourbon is aged up to 2 weeks. I think this was.
Oh, no.
Oh
When
yeah,
they-
this was from Tuesday.
Rough Rider is not a brand, it's a description. It's how it feels in your mouth.
It's not my favorite bourbon.
No. It's not my favorite bourbon.
I don't like it. I don't like this.
No.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
All right, last but not least. Tastes like a Long Island.
That's good.
Well, that's good because
That's what
it
you
is
want.
a Long Island.
No, actually, it's pretty. It tastes. It's more lemonade-y. It's got a lot of. It's
It has,
heavy on the lemon flavor.
in Northwest potato vodka.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you take a swig of Long Island and you're like, woo, and it takes you a while to get used to it. This one wasn't like that. It's more. It's definitely heavy on the lemon.
Do we even bother asking Jake how that thing tasted? There's a couple
Was.
drops left in it.
Delicious.
He says
Delicious.
it's delicious.
The
We'll
mule
take his
is
word for it.
delicious. The black
It's a
cherry mule is
It
delicious.
does not come in a copper mug.
It does
You
not.
cannot impress anyone drinking it.
No.
I just want to say the sunset here, it's almost is gorgeous. This is
We're in the golden hour. For those
pan
who know what
around
that
to the
means.
golden hour, Jake. Look at what we have here.
It's really quite lovely. The sunset over the Contemporary.
Bay Lake Tower off in the distance. Obviously, Discovery Island, tropical paradise.
Should you explain to him that we're not like actually in the bar?
Yeah, Leah has to explain. We're not actually in the bar. We are in the self-service patio. There was about an hour and a half wait to get a table. We've already eaten our snacks. This bar is more of a casual walk-up bar.
It's a
They
pool
do
bar.
have some seating, but we thought, let's sit out here and enjoy the sunset. And we did enjoy that sunset.
We did.
You know who enjoyed their night? Our cameraman, Jake.
Yeah. I don't know
And
if
you can see how his night was going as the camera starts leaning a little.
Yeah.
Here, and I love it.
But, we talked about there was a Falcon Heavy launch from Cape Canaveral that night that we were at Wilderness Lodge. So when we come back to our next segment, I think we're going to get to show
we'll
you
show that in a few
little
minutes.
bit of that launch and how cool it looks to be able to see it from across Bay Lake at Wilderness Lodge.
Speaking of Jake, can we celebrate your milestone?
Yes.
Jake, as many of you know, was a former smoker. How many weeks smoke-free are we, Jake?
Is it 3, 4?
4 weeks. without
Congratulations,
smoking.
Jake.
Unfortunately, to distract him from smoking, we had to take him out and get him hammered.
Everybody needs a little bit of coping mechanism here and there. What are you going to do?
So we did that. By the way, we're going to get to a conversation in a minute. it touches on controversial topics
It does.
that are timely and are annoying to all of us by this point.
Yeah.
I might make fun of somebody, but that is not me taking a position, official or otherwise, on behalf of the company on any of these issues. Just pointing out some details of things. But before we get to that segment, or do you have something to say before?
I was just going to say, depending on how, so I remember the conversation. I haven't actually watched this segment that we're going to show you. So how well this goes is really, we're putting a lot of faith in our editor on this one. Fingers crossed he's either getting a raise or he's in trouble.
No,
that's what I'm going to say.
No, but that's great. Before we, and we're going to take you the segment, but first, Jake, who brings us this segment?
This program is brought to you by WIGS, the WDWNT Inner Globe Society. Support WDWNT to get early and exclusive access to content you can't find anywhere else, including exclusive post shows for WDW News Tonight and Park Center, access to our prize wall, a monthly Zoom with Tom, access to our Discord community, early access to our events, and much more, starting at just $2 per month. For more information, visit patreon.com/WDWNT or visit WDWNT.com and click the Patreon link. Join WIGS and unlock even more WDWNT.
Thank you, disembodied voice of me.
Indeed. And now you're an embodied voice of you.
Yeah.
It's like a Haunted Mansion.
Process that.
It's like a Yale Gracie kind of effect. I love it.
No, I remember because Tyler Hughesby with us edited that, and I was like, it all sounds weird because of how my voice is edited that I don't know how to end sentences.
I don't like that.
I should redo
video.
it one time.
I don't like that commercial because that big shot at the end of all the wigs in the studio, like I'm smack in the middle of the picture and my eyes are closed, and every time it like comes up on me with my eyes closed, and that's all I can see. Because,
sometimes it's the only way you
vanity.
can get through the day here, Jill. Close your eyes and march forward.
Indeed.
All right, let's see how the conversation went.
Conversation this week. So part of the Reedy Creek meeting this past week was about the 2032 development plan. This is a very large property, a lot of stuff.
Did I need to do homework
I was
before
going to
this
say, I
discussion?
am not prepared for whatever we're getting ready to talk about.
If you were developing this property, and
define this property.
The entire Reedy Creek district, whatever they're calling it.
The
entire Walt
43
Disney
square
World.
miles.
Of Walt Disney World
Yes.
property? Okay.
Okay, so for instance, I am not offering a political opinion on who the board is making decisions. I will make a judgment based on someone's hairstyle, which is to say there's a guy on this board named Michael Sasso, and based on the decisions he made at the hairstylist, I do not trust him to make decisions about
On
this
behalf of
property.
And let's just make it clear. Eric, Lee, and I, and Jake for that matter, all pay taxes to what will, to Orange County, which theoretically is will partially be responsible for subsidizing what used to be Reedy Creek.
Our property, as you may know if you watch Boxed In, our subdivision literally borders Reedy Creek property.
Yeah.
Most of these board members live in Sarasota, Tampa, live in, I think, Winter Park. They don't have a lot of skin in the game, so I say, we have skin in the game. How do we develop this property? The 2032 development plan has room for a theme park and a couple mini theme parks or small theme parks. We don't need that, but I feel like we can discuss, we're qualified to discuss what we would like to see between now and 2032 on Walt Disney World property.
Tables in Wonderland.
That's a product that is not.
So, here's the thing I want to put out there, though, right? Do they know how developable this land actually is? Because Disney has tried to develop a lot of this land and has figured out through actual trial and error that some of it is they can't sink pylons. I mean, there should have been 2 other hotels right here that Disney tried to sink pylons into the water.
Oh,
and
they can
just
sink them. They can really sink them.
But right, so how much of what Reedy Creek thinks is developable land is actually developable?
This is based on things and the development plan did include things like
areas that would have to be drained and the water relocated to create another wetland, all this stuff. Doesn't matter. This is blue sky. The people who are on the board now have no idea, right? The qualifications for being on the board now are how much money did you donate to the governor?
Yeah.
So assuming we had enough money to donate to the governor, whoever it may be at any given time, what would we do with this development plan? What would we add a resort? What would you do with Discovery Island? Open your imagination. There's a million things you could do here.
Let me ask you,
let me
Eric.
just tickle your imagination, Jill. Many years ago, it was rumored there was going to be a nighttime theme park,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, I
gonna-
mean, there have been so many
Night
rumored
Kingdom
things.
and
Oh,
all
my gosh.
these things that people
Talk
wanted
about
to do.
WDW After Five.
Right.
I mean, that's exactly.
Bring
But
back
so
Pleasure
let me ask you this question.
Lisa's bring back Pleasure Island. Okay.
Bring back Pleasure Island, for sure. Bring back Pleasure Island. I mean, bring back something that is themed nighttime entertainment for adults. That I have talked about. I mean, there's a Around the Hub. If you're a longtime WDWNT fan, there's an episode of Around the Hub from like 4 years ago where I like bemoan the lack of exciting things to do for adults after the parks close, and that has not changed in the last 4 years in the slightest.
No.
But let me ask you this: were you ever on Discovery Island when it was a thing?
No.
Really?
Lee?
Were you, Lee?
I did make it to
Am I this? So I was actually on Discovery Island as a kid. I have been to that island,
I was not.
and I have walked through that bird sanctuary. It was lovely.
Was it?
I'm not saying we should bring that back, but you should do that island.
That
Cool AF.
north to south, probably about a quarter mile long. I mean, big enough to be a resort property, which would be a huge pain in the butt, right? If you wanted to come here.
Huge pain in the butt.
Maybe
sure.
some additional campgrounds for Fort would be cool.
Well,
the problem
especially
is-
if like we lose existing campgrounds for Fort.
All right, we're not losing them. We're just giving them to DVC.
Same.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, we're just putting a paywall. Imagine that. We're putting a paywall between.
Disney is now charging
people
you
in it.
more for a thing they already charged you a lot for to begin
Hey,
with.
some primitive campsite. When they closed down Discovery Island, they basically just abandoned it. There's buildings,
did.
there's
It is-
infrastructure, there's stuff out there.
There are and the documentaries on YouTube about it are already several years old. But even years ago, the things that were developed on that land, the buildings and things are wildly overgrown. So I grew up in Pennsylvania. Nature was not as aggressive in Pennsylvania. When I moved to Florida, you learn how much more aggressive nature is. The closer to the equator you are. Here, if you like turn around for 5 minutes, like your garden is completely overgrown with weeds. I mean, the plants grow out of control here. So things that are
Yeah.
not tended and cared for like daily are going to get overgrown immediately here. So there is a lot of wild territory out there on Walt Disney World property that has not been developed.
So I would say like nature is more aggressive here, and in Philly, the people are more aggressive. Is that fair?
I don't know. There's some aggressive people in Florida too.
They all relocated from New Jersey.
They all drive on I-4.
You have kind of the same situation with River Country. They left all that. I've
And
seen
it's
video
yeah.
footage of.
That's a little bit easier to get to because you don't actually have. It's not an island. It's not surrounded entirely by water.
That's a problem that could easily be solved with the water transportation that already exists, adding a stop or whatever. I'll just throw out some ideas. Here's one that Jill came up with a long time ago. The deeply themed hotels like the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser are, I think it's a hit in terms of people who have done the experience. It's a hit. The price is too much.
Yeah.
Jill wanted an Alice in Wonderland themed hotel.
Can you imagine? How great? Okay, I'm sorry. You build an Alice in Wonderland themed hotel on Walt Disney World property. That thing, you can make it let's make it a moderate resort. Let's not make it completely inaccessible because you've got the Grand Floridian.
Let's just charge people like $1,000 a night. You're in the you go slide down a rabbit hole from the parking lot.
I'm not
like the Star
comfortable with
Cruiser.
that. I don't know. I don't want.
I was kidding. That's $1,000 a night. That's moderate because
I don't
the Star
want-
Cruiser
yeah.
is $6,000 for 2
I don't.
nights.
I don't want that experience. I want I want like a walk around. I want like a resort that I, as an outsider, can go walk around and experience. And like there are themed elements. They're themed maybe like sort of activities. Like there's a hedge maze, and there you could play croquet with flamingo croquet mallets and hedgehog-shaped croquet balls. Like I want that level of theming, but without.
They could probably honestly do that to one of the All-Stars.
We could absolutely do
Put
that
a croquet
to one of the
lawn out there.
All-Stars.
Tear down
None
your
of
Herbie the
this is
Love Bug
hard.
wallpaper.
None of this is hard. Look, none of anything we're probably going to propose is hard, and it's probably not even that expensive. You just have to care. That's the biggest thing that's missing here, and that is the biggest problem with all of this Reedy Creek. You think Disney already doesn't care about its own property? How much does this new board care about Disney?
They don't. My criticism is most of them don't live here. They don't have skin in the game, right? They travel.
Literally have
the
no
money
skin
they
in the
spend on mileage reimbursement to these people could be better spent on almost anything else to get people that actually live and reside in the district and care about this thing. Here's something. Why don't we have expanded monorail track? We have 14 miles of monorail track on property. It serves 2 theme parks. We could easily serve all 4 if we wanted to.
Are you saying money's no object? Because I mean, that's the mitigating factor there, is how much it
I
would
mean,
cost
if
to build
money's
the
no
monorail.
object, we need a 5th gate.
That's why we have the Skyliner.
Like literally,
That is in
if
the
money is
plan.
no object, the first thing we should have is another park.
A 5th gate is in the operating plan. It's in there in the 2032 operating plan. It exists. I don't know what that theme park looks like. I don't know what I would do with that theme park, but I have a few maybe a few hints I would toss their way.
What would you toss their way?
Well, okay, number 1, you can't have Marvel.
Okay.
You can't have Marvel because of your deal with Universal. You can try to buy your way out
Oh,
of
I
that
thought
deal.
you meant I thought that was your rule. But
No, no,
also,
no, no,
I
no.
don't disagree with that rule. I don't want another Marvel park. I want a Disney park.
Right.
Put all your Marvel in Epcot, and that's fine.
So,
Give me a park that's
Jason
not.
would smack you right now.
hold on, Brian.
Okay.
Eric needs a moment.
He needs to gather his
Prepare.
thoughts.
Okay.
He's got to prepare his thoughts.
So, honestly, the thing I want more than anything else will never happen, which is a Society of Explorers and Adventurers themed park.
One already exists.
Yes, one exists in Japan. That's a pretty big distance away, right? A park themed to that. That spirit of adventure and all that stuff and original IPs. I don't want or need a Pixar park based on existing IP. I don't need or want a Disney Animation Studios park based on current IP. If you want to go with some classic stuff, okay, but nobody else other than me is going to want a Blackbeard's Ghost and Gus the field goal kicking donkey and
It's never gonna happen.
all that and all those type of things. I want original IP. The company has made a decision to get away from that. I think that's a mistake.
Oh, totally agree.
The things that they have created, Epcot was completely free from studio IP when it was original.
Yep.
It was free from characters.
Epcot had its flaws connecting with kids originally, right? It connected with some of us, but Epcot's flaw
Jason
was,
locked right into that.
right. But by and large, yeah, a number of Epcot connected with all of us, but it didn't connect with a wide enough audience that so the management had to say we gotta do something about this park. You can make original IP that connects with a lot of people. And you can cut the Imagineers loose and let their creative minds run wild. And that's what Tokyo Disney Sea is, right? They have some IP in there. But they said, okay, Imagineers, go crazy. Let's see what you can do. We want to see what you can do. And to me, that is something that's missing. They're talking about $17 billion. Disney's planning on spending $17
billion on this property. And what do you want to bet it's going to be on? Stupid IP reinforcement stuff. And every character that's involved is going to be something you've already heard of.
I mean, here's the problem, and here's the problem people like us always face. We are far from representative of the average Disney guest. We want different things than the average Disney guest. We don't have little kids that we're bringing. The whole point of coming here is bringing kids to Disney to see the things they want to see. I mean, like, Disney Sea is incredible, but it is not. It is the second tier park. I mean, it's like Disneyland and California Adventure. It is the redheaded stepchild of Tokyo Disney Resort. Because it is not kid-oriented, there are very few kid-oriented rides in Tokyo Disney Sea.
Now you have my attention.
And it is always,
less kids? Okay.
It is always the second choice park for people that are going to Tokyo Disney Resort.
Right.
I think that's great. For me, that's perfect. But I am not the average park-going guest. And so the problem you and I are always going to face is the things that we want Disney to do are not the things that are going to appeal to the average guest, to the average family who is coming here from New Mexico or Ohio on their family vacation.
They only come from Denver. Have you not heard?
I've seen way too many Iowa license plates lately, and it's starting to mess with my head.
Oh, Iowa people, turn around. Turn around, Iowa.
Go home! As Tracy Ullman would say, go home, go home.
I've learned everything I need to know about you from the Music Man. No, I think a boutique park that is free from studio IP. Like, you can't do like a massive Epcot-size, largest construction project in the country, whatever. I don't know. Lee, what would you like? I know what Lee would like to, I think I know what Lee would like to see. Here, hold the microphone on your own.
Oh, what would you like? What do you think I would like to see?
Just a park dedicated to Cinderella and Gus Gus?
Pretty much. Pretty much. Just I want the opposite of what everybody else wants. Like, I want the fairy tale suite in the castle. I want that to be a whole hotel.
Absolutely. Why can't we do that?
I don't know why not.
I mean, that would be a deluxe resort, obviously.
All right, Lee, so you want like a princess-themed hotel, specifically maybe the floor that you're on is Cinderella, right?
Yeah, like you could do, like, or different sections or whatever. It doesn't have to be a floor. Like, you could do one, but I would want to have the ability to choose your princess. Like, I wouldn't want to come and say, oh, I hope I get the Cinderella suite, and then they put me in, like, Sleeping Beauty suite, you know?
Oh, Sleeping Beauty. Such a diva.
No, I mean, I don't
Choose
hate
your
her.
own princess adventure.
I kind of have, there's the specific affinity for Cinderella. And
I think there's a market for that with pirates. And now we've talked about like an Adventureland hotel in the past that may or may not be showing up. I can see that.
Well, I mean, like, I can tell you that when I took my niece and her kids to Caribbean and they stayed in the pirate suite, they loved it. The boys loved it. And even that, I mean, and that gets into the whole side conversation about Disney going more generic and losing the theming. But when they had the pirate bed and the refrigerator was in a...
Yeah, they've gotten rid of all that now.
All of it's gone.
No, but I mean like an experiential pirate thing, like kind of like an immersive galactic Star Cruiser, but as pirates.
Oh, absolutely.
Or an immersive Alice in Wonderland, or an immersive... you know what? I want a Hollywood Tower hotel.
Okay, now there you go. That's an idea. But just real quick, but like to even prove how popular the pirate thing would be, there's a pirate adventure that they have. I don't know if they still have it after COVID, but at Contemporary, there was a pirate cruise, and they would give everybody the patch and the little skull cap, and they'd put them on the boat. Kids went nuts. They'd get the little foam
What if they actually had a
swords.
real pirate ship they could sail around in, you know? But
Tokyo's got a real pirate ship that they sail around the lagoon at Disney Sea.
That would be cool. You could do like a dinner cruise.
Can you
around here in a
imagine?
pirate
Oh
ship.
my God!
Even
Can you
Disneyland has the
imagine a
Columbia.
pirate Disney cruise? Okay, so I've been in Mexico. We went on vacation to Mexico. This is over a decade ago, and we booked a pirate dinner cruise where they put you on a pirate ship and it was Cancun, and it was just sort of sailed around the inlet. But they put you on what looked like a real pirate ship, and then you got to sit down and eat dinner, and there was a little pirate back
Just
and
like
forth.
the
and there
pirates
were
used
some
to
shows. It was so cool. You could easily do that on Bailey.
Welcome.
You could
Hope your
easily
accommodations
do
are
that.
comfortable, you scallywag.
Just a loop right around here.
And I mean,
So
like,
they actually wouldn't go to Fort Wilderness and like, okay, we're gonna go off and you're gonna hack up the locals and steal all their stuff. That could be fun too.
No, that's bad.
Oh,
That's bad
not-
show.
That's bad.
Bad show.
but I feel like some of these things, like something like that, for example, like, okay, you're going to need to invest a lot of money into building the pirate ship and like getting the crew and cast to run it. It's not a huge profit margin, and that's the problem. Disney's not going to start anything new that doesn't have a huge profit margin, and that's the problem. Before, it didn't used to matter if there was going to be doesn't it just matter that you're going to make money and it's going to make people happy and it's going to make people want to come here? It used to matter, and now it's like, what is the specific return on investment of this thing? Are we making 10 times the amount of money we spent per person on it? If not, we're not doing it. And it's like they don't see it within the bigger picture. For all of this like data-driven stuff that everybody does, it's like they lose the picture of like what it means in the grand scheme of how much it builds people's affinity for Disney. They've lost that whole picture of what builds that brand loyalty and what makes people fall in love with Disney and want to come back over and over. And that's the problem they're facing right now. They dug so hard into like maximizing every dollar that they got out of people that now they're finding out that people don't want to come back anymore.
I came to Disney, spent a lot of money. It was great for Disney.
Done. We're done.
But I felt squeezed the whole time. So now I'm gonna go to the mountains or something.
And that's why they're putting annual passes back on sale right now, and that's why they're putting all of these Florida resident deals out right now, because all of their summer bookings look like garbage because we dug so hard into trying to squeeze every dollar out of people, and guess what? Shocker, they didn't like that, and they don't want to come back.
Chapek did real damage. Not that Bob Iger didn't.
But Bob Iger's
squeeze
not
people.
undoing any of that damage so far. I mean, Bob Iger's been around.
He did acknowledge on a shareholder conference call. He's like, maybe we were a little too aggressive with some pricing.
Okay,
I don't know that means that he feels bad about it.
Acknowledging it and doing something about it are two. Bob Iger can say whatever he wants, but until you start doing something about it, I'm going to say Disney hasn't changed since Iger came back into power.
I came up with an idea. There's our pirate hotel, the immersive pirate experience, Discovery Island.
Let's do it.
Put a giant skull there that you sail into when you arrive. They put a little dock.
It'll be like
they
the
show
Goonies.
you out there. Yeah. Well,
Can you
not the
imagine?
You're
Goonies.
putting your Tower of Terror hotel.
It's right behind the Hollywood Tower Hotel.
It's just going to be connected.
It's going to be right there.
You can watch
Fantasmic out of your window.
I think we take over the Swan and Dolphin again. We take them back into Disney control.
That was a
because
very Goonies quote. I'm taking them back.
Take it back.
Taking them all back.
This is our time down here.
Absolutely.
Pirate hotel right there. You sail in and you go out on secret voyages at night on a real boat, not on a box truck.
That would be incredible. Pirate dinner cruises.
Pirate cannons every now and then.
Pirate exploratory treasure hunting missions.
You're welcome, Bob Iger. Hit me up.
Feel
Eric
free
at
to steal this
WDWNT.com.
idea. We're happy to let you take it because it would add so much immersive, themed, enjoyable guest experience, which is exactly what Disney hasn't been doing enough of lately.
They do it with the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, but
they charge
nobody
too much
can
money.
afford it.
But I cannot afford.
I cannot afford it.
I can afford when I ride on other people's coattails.
Well, there you have it. I want to get into real quick. Territory Lounge. We were there a few minutes ago. I want to rate that. It's hard for me to rate like a pool bar here. Geyser Point is wonderful. I don't know that it's going to crawl over anybody in the ratings. It's not really the full service experience that we are.
Well, look, and we're in Central Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
Weather is incredibly unpredictable at best here. So anytime you're talking about an outdoor experience, you're hit or miss in terms of what you're going to get based solely on weather alone, if nothing else.
A lot of people have said, and I'm sure we'll say in the comments, that Geyser Point is a must-do. This is a must-do. But to compare it to a themed lounge or other places we've been, it's kind of not really, you can't really get an apples to apples.
First of all, you're never going to get the level of service here that you get in one of the indoor themed lounges.
Right.
Like, just the nature of the environment. Again, you're just never going to get the level of service here. There's too many tables, too few servers trying to do too many things, too many people walking around.
It kind of goes to Jill's point about it being a pool bar. You got kids running around in bathing suits and moms screaming, running after them with towels and sunscreen.
It's a different
being
vibe.
Sprayed. Yeah.
It's not the vibe. This vibe is amazing.
Right.
There are, I see like 4 boats.
There's boats.
The sun
yeah.
is setting over an island.
All
We're
of the
about
boats
to see
have
a
come
rocket
out.
launch.
Yeah.
But this
The
is
fireworks are in a little
patio
over an
vibe.
hour,
Yeah,
and
we
that's
got-
what all these boats
Yeah,
are
we'll
out
see
here
the
for, is for the fireworks.
But Territory Lounge is the one that we're going to actually rate, right? So we know how this works. It's 1 to 10 with decimal points. Take into account theming, quality of drinks, quality of your service, quality of food, the overall vibe, all that kind of stuff. What do you have, Lee?
That's tough because, particularly for that one, service always kind of rates it extra high. Their service is always
Right.
Above average, certainly.
I'm gonna go 8.5, only because of the limited menu. I missed the fondue.
Got rid of the fondue, or you'd be a 9 with Lee.
Oh no, I think if they still had the fondue, it might be a 9.5.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, a whole point lost
Whole
because
point
of
lost with
fondue.
the fondue. Yes.
I'm gonna give it a flat 9. A flat 9. I think there's a couple things, like some of the other bars that we evaluate here. To get in there, you got to get through security, which
It's a
means you might have to
challenge.
have a reservation somewhere or have a reason to be there.
They don't
if
make
I
it
were
easy.
the proprietor of any of these bars, and here they don't shake you down too much. You go, hey, I want to go to Territory Lounge. They will often let
Most
you in,
of
but
the
it's
time
usually
it's
a crapshoot
fine.
here. So that part of it is difficult
Challenging.
for me, especially if I were a proprietor at the boardwalk. I would be furious with Disney security for the way that security treats guests at Yacht and Beach
Who
and
want to
Boardwalk,
come
who
to
want to come
their-
spend money at their bars.
Yeah.
It used
Cake
to
Bake,
be,
you're gonna hate it. Cake Bake owners, you're gonna hate this.
yeah, because it used
You made
to
a bad
be-
choice, Cake Bake.
Yeah.
You made a bad choice.
I mean, back in the day, for years, I would always go, I want to go to ESPN. And I would go and sit and drink and eat and watch football. And you could go to the security gate and say, I'm going to ESPN. And they'd be like, okay. And then somewhere along the way, when they figured out that people were going, hey, I can just park there and go into Epcot, they went,
Yeah, I mean, there was abuse there, but also ESPN suffered, right? They started cracking down on it.
well,
they're
and now it
closed,
doesn't
it's not-
exist.
So, Jill, we are anxiously awaiting your rating as the sun
So you
begins
said
to set.
8.5. You said 9?
Yeah. I'm very friendly. My ratings are always very friendly.
I'm trying to think about this in context of the other bars we've rated so far. And I would put Territory, I feel like I put Dahlia at an 8.8.
Yeah.
I want to say that's what I scored Dahlia, and I think I would score Territory the same as I scored Dahlia. I think that each of them have advantages over the other. I think Territory has better theming than Dahlia. Dahlia has better accessibility and view, but Territory has better service. But I think overall,
Well,
in
both
terms
of them had Susan.
Both
And
of
Susan
them
is
have
a
had
wonderful
Susan.
server. Susan used to be at Dahlia. That's where we met her.
both of
She's
them do
amazing
have
at
great service. I have always had great service at Dahlia. So that gives us an average of 8.7666666666.
It's not a repeating 6 because it has a 7 there after a while. Very highly rated. We highly recommend you come here. This is a great
Territory
place to be.
is fantastic.
Territory Lounge is fantastic. Geyser Point for the fireworks, the sunset, and
The great part about
hopefully a rocket launch.
Yeah, you can come to Territory and have some really nice cocktails and a few snacks, and then come out here to Geyser and grab a drink and watch. You can watch the electrical parade from out here. You can watch the fireworks from out here. If there's a rocket launch, you can watch that from out here.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
there it is. It's going.
Oh, there we go.
Focus you guys.
And we are at, for my money, the best Walt Disney World Resort. Wilderness Lodge, bar none. Between the views you have here, you have the water pageant, you have the fireworks, you have all this, you have an amazing lobby, you have 2 really highly rated bars, a couple really good restaurants, a quick serve. Like, Wilderness Lodge is...
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I don't know if I'd call it the best resort on property, but...
I don't know what else is better. I could be persuaded to change my mind, but I don't think any of the monorail loop ones are better. I don't think Yacht Beach or Boardwalk are better, and those are all the top ones.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. It's hard.
I don't know. I'm torn. Anyway, thanks for joining us, WDWAF. Back to the studio.
Back to the studio.
We kicked it back to us.
We kicked it back to our own selves. Is that meta, or is that obnoxious, or is it? It's probably maybe both. It's probably both.
I feel like we might have rambled a little bit there.
We may have rambled. It may have been the multiple cocktails. I think. Yeah, we'll work on it. We'll work on it for next time. We promise.
I don't know. I still feel strongly about some of these, but my pirate.
It was a
Discovery
fantastic
Island
idea.
immersive pirate thing.
It was so good. Yeah.
And every night you go and you raid the rich people at the Grand Floridian. You take like a boat.
That's
Maybe the DVC people.
Yeah.
And you just storm the.
Yeah.
Come on.
I kind of want to go raid the Grand Floridian. I mean, it looks like a fancy Spanish like estate, right? So like, you know, Caribbean, like you're coming up on the shore.
Look, you don't want to. The contemporaries too close by. You got to keep them as you got to keep the contemporary as an ally, right? You got to keep them at least neutral, so they will turn a blind eye to your raiding ways.
It's a shield.
Polynesian, you could be raiding like a ship full of Kakamora or something, and they fight back. Grand Floridian, easy pickings.
Easy pickings. I think that's totally true. I love that idea.
True.
Yes.
I love it.
I kind of actually, I feel like I want to go to I just want to dress like a pirate and go to the Grand Floridian and like go up to people and be like, give me your goods, swabby.
It might work.
Scurvy rat.
Scurvy rat.
I don't.
Swabby, I think, is just like someone that works on the ship.
I'm not up on my pirate speak. I'm really sorry.
Learn some pirate words, but I think if you're intimidating enough, you might just walk away with some money.
I feel like if I rolled into the Grand Floridian dressed like a pirate, there would be enough people that would be like, just take my money and go away, please.
We could loot a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
I do think we're onto something. I think the Discovery Island immersive hotel. It's got to happen now. I don't really care about reflections, any DVC stuff.
No one does.
I just care about the fun stuff.
DVC members don't care about any of that. Let's care about the fun stuff. That's what I was trying to say. Disney needs to bring back more fun stuff that builds like excitement and brand loyalty and like wanting to come back and isn't just about pure dollars, because I think they're losing out on that brand loyalty, that really immersive experience that gives people what they want and keeps them coming back.
I agree. If you're a WIGS member, we do have a post show tonight because we love staying up late after our show goes really long.
Yes. When I have 8 o'clock meetings tomorrow morning. Very excited.
At least you're not waking up for the coronation tomorrow.
It sounds, no, I'm waking up for the coronation on Saturday. Saturday. Yeah. I have a day.
All right. Well, we did see, by the way, maybe Desi hit me up. Maybe Desi can make a guest appearance.
We got at least one more show to record.
Desi only talks about her availability in the chat, not to me or you or anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just playing both sides.
You know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What are you going to do with Desi?
The show must go on. And so we've got a post show coming up for our WIGS members. We've got another, again, next week's show is going to feature a pretty cool location on property. Stay tuned. Tune into us next Thursday for that. And, we'll see where it goes, and all leading up to News Tonight coming back in the beginning of June.
June 1st?
June 1st is News Tonight's first show back. So you've got us to get you through and share some cocktails with until then.
And June 1st, by the way, June 3rd, we will be Tom, Eric, and Jason, the three idiots.
Did you just talk about yourself in the third person?
Tom, Eric, and Jason. I referred to our collective. Because usually they go out of town and I'm stuck
That's
doing everything.
true. Holding the bag.
We will be in Marceline, Missouri at the Walt Disney Hometown Museum to watch them dedicate a new clock and go out to Walt Disney's home farm, the farm where he grew up, for a fireworks display and more. And I'm sure we'll bring you content there.
Yes,
there's
sure
a
you
lot
will.
coming up in
Very
early
cool.
June. So we're excited you joined us. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. And we'll see you tomorrow night on Boxed In. WIGS, stand by. There is a post show coming right up. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow, next week, all the time.